were very fortunate to have worked with various civil society, and it was always the women's rights movement. And I want to acknowledge the women's rights movement, the activists from the Pacific region and the world that have been very strong, that have been very firm in recognizing the diversities within the gender spectrum. And secondly, I think one of the main progress was during the democratization process back in Fiji. So during the constitution making process back in 2013, a group of LBT organizations came together in what we've called ourselves as the Rainbow Coalition. And the Rainbow Coalition spearheaded the drive in ensuring that our voices as LBT people needs to be reflected and captured, not just in the democratization process, but in the constitution, in a document that governs our lives. So we were quite successful to come together. Apparently, during that process, the democratization process, and Fiji's been through this school culture, we were not successful. Well, we were successful making our submissions. What was not successful was that the Constitution Committee, the Constitution got taken out, not because of LBT, but the Constitution got taken out because of the political climax that Fiji was in. In 2013, coming till then, the LBT community were quite strong when we heard about that sexual orientation, gender identity and expression was reflected in Chapter 2 of our Constitution under the Bill of Rights in Section 26 of subsection 2. And it talks about persons of diverse sexual orientation, gender identity and expression. Our Constitution in our Bill of Rights may have limitations to our rights, but we were so successful, and it's quite a progress, and we can speak to this because we've got the language in. It's like going to the UN and trying to get and lobby your text in. So for us in Fiji, we were celebrating. And yes, although much further needs to be done, and we still recognize it and celebrate the many other challenges that we face as well. Another interesting progress for the Pacific was the island of Tonga was very home, I can say this, in terms of hosting the first ever LGBT conference, which was last year in 2015, which was called the Pacific Human Rights Conference. And at that conference, it brought together the diverse Pacific community, which was Micronesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia. So we came together, we had a series of dialogue, a series of real political conversations about who's saying what in the room, and who's leading the movement, and also addressing some of the issues that our countries are going for, the positions, which we are strong as well in CSW. What are our various country and regional position is in terms of SOGI. So that's kind of a progress in Fiji and the Pacific Islands altogether. Another progress is we've had this culture of coalition building, where we've started to work not just with LBT groups, but with organizations that probably have been labeled alternative heteronormative organizations. We've been able to partner up with them. Faith-based organizations back at home are starting to open up their spaces for us. Not all, but some. We've had the Methodist Church in Fiji that's on International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia in 2014 and 15 that's come up really strong to support the community in ensuring that when we talk about safe spaces, we're also engaging with the LBT movement. I'm wrapping up, Jessica, my darling, so don't worry about that. Safe space, however, is still something that we struggle with in terms of understanding what this is about, as well as solidarity within social political movements, or social movements, and sisterhood. What does this mean for us in the Pacific? What does this mean for us in the Global South? What does this mean for the Northern Alliance and the Southern Alliance coming together? It's not just about resources, it's about politics, it's about many other things that needs to be talked about and that needs to be addressed, and there also needs to be accountable mechanisms to this when we also are in the process of the Sustainable Development Goals. I'll stop there, Jessica.
Pacific Islands media strategy here, but I feel like there